Right then, evening all. Lovely to see so many of you here already. We're refreshed. We've slept since we got off Queen Anne. We got off there pretty tired after.
That's fine, yeah. That's not white on your nose.
Some white on my nose.
It's gone.
So yeah, so we disembarked Queen Anne on Friday. Gosh, I'm just losing the track of the days because it's been such a quick turnaround.
It was one of the days within the last week.
It was Friday, I'm sure. After an excellent week on Queen Anne, but it did have its issues, as you've probably been seeing on our previous live and also obviously our posts, etc. But we had such fantastic company in the chat as well.
Well, we had fantastic company. So why did you say I could see Ken's in the chat?
But anyway, so if you've got any questions for us about Queen Anne, about cruising, any of our trips that we've been on, any questions at all about travel and cruising, then please just pop them in the comments. And as Nick's just quite rightly said, we've been having a debate when we were on doing our other lives of should we put question in front or right then. Either or is great, but Nick's saying just remember to like, subscribe and spread the word. And if you have a question, start your comment with question or right then.
Yeah. Or, I'm just going to throw this out there. Start your question with Paul looks really handsome tonight.
He's done his hair. Look,
I don't think that
he's done his hair. Especially
I don't think that one's going to catch
no,
on, is it?
Not at all. It's a bit too long. But joking aside, with Nick saying about spread the word, we're getting a lot of traction on Facebook at the moment. Our Facebook page is very popular. We're about to hit sort of 9,000 followers. So if you are on Facebook, please do come and follow us there. And if you enjoy any of our posts, please do share them because it's I think Facebook, out of all social media, we've got a really good community there that we have a band with. Obviously, our Patreon and YouTube members are special, but after that, I think Facebook is probably my favorite place.
Probably the next best thing.
Yeah.
There seems to be more genuine followery type people. We love Instagram.
Yes.
I mean, that's the thing. That's my sort of medium that I'm mostly in charge of, like especially stories.
Yeah.
But I think you get some lovely interaction on Instagram, but you seem to get nicer into
I think so. Our Facebook page fab. So many lovely people here. Andy and Carla, evening PNC. Nice to have a cheery chat on this dreary Monday evening. Yeah, because we're going away on Wednesday, we're joining Aurora down in Southampton.
Well,
hopefully. We'll go on to that in a moment.
Yeah, we got some hot off the press, which we'll leave. Hopefully, we'll have a few more people joining, but we got some hot off the press news about Aurora.
So we're hoping to join Aurora Wednesday, going down to Southampton again tomorrow. And it was quite stressful last week getting the live done on while we were on the ship, and so we decided, you know what, we don't normally do it on a Monday, we normally do it on a Thursday, but this week is a Monday, and then we can be free to obviously enjoy our time on Aurora, and I get a bit stressed and worried about things, so there we go.
I never would have known that. Carole gets stressed. It's going to be lovely actually, because obviously we love what we do, otherwise we wouldn't do it. But I have to say, and I think it came across, and we did have some comments that we were a little bit niggly.
Well, I think we're both quite fraught, so emotions were running high on our last live, weren't they?
Yes. So if we offended anybody, I'd like to apologise. Carole is still my favourite wife, and I do love her dearly.
There you go. Right. So Barbara's here. So love to see Barbara, who came to our meetup in Southampton. We've got Nick and Tracy, as we've said, and Andy and Carla here, and Reese. So lovely to see Reese. Happy Thursday, y'all. Actually, Reese has got a question here. So right then, when is the Japanese vlog series starting? As we've just booked a celebrity 12-night Japan cruise with wonderful Dan this morning. Oh, exciting. Right, so our vlogs for Queen Anne are starting on Friday. Oh, I've got a bit of a banner for this, Paul. You'll be excited.
Oh, I must admit, we haven't seen a banner for a few weeks. I think you've been sort of slipping on the banner front.
So it's just spent 4 hours uploading the videos.
It's just spent 4 hours doing that banner.
No, uploading the video. So our patrons get early access tonight, and then everyone else gets our maiden voyage, which will begin. I've still got Reese's thing up there, look. So you can't see what's going on. Where are we? Oh, that's it.
Oh, you'll have to apologise because this is the first live we've ever done.
No. So there you are. So we've got our maiden voyage begins on Queen Anne. So that goes out on Friday. So make sure you tune that. That's been very interesting redoing that.
That's not supposed to be there, is it? That's
That's there all the time.
That's all
And
right.
if you haven't seen we've got quite a few cabin tours out now that we did while we were having just a look around. But this is the cabin that we stayed in. So if you want to find out how you can get a massive balcony on Queen Anne for no extra money, then go and check out that one too. So let's go back to the comments.
I think the only cabins we haven't covered now is
Outside. We couldn't get
John the janitor's cabin and Inga the captain's. Other
Yes.
than that, we've done every single one of them.
Lovely to see Sherry here. Sherry's been on a big adventure. She's been over to actually she's put it here. Thank you, Sherry, for reminding me. Back home in Charlotte now, but after whirlwind river cruise on Avalon from Prague to Bucharest, then flight to Edinburgh and 10-day Outlander tour Scotland. It looked fantastic. Sherry's been sharing her experience in our Discord group, so that's been awesome. And Ken's just saying, I've just finished editing Embarkation Day on Queen Anne. It did make me laugh. Do you know, Ken, I've just done the same. And it's because of great memories of obviously the first day.
I can't think why I can. And I'm getting a bit fed up of you blaming me for keeping everybody up at night.
3:30, wasn't it? We got to bed the first night.
Because of the clock change, though.
Well, was it?
Yeah. The second night, it was a genuine ass.
But it's funny you should say that because I've just been editing, and there's the one part where we're talking about Mike Doyle in the theatre, and he's if you ever see Mike Doyle advertised on a program when you're cruising, make sure you go and see him because he's a fantastic entertainer. And there's a part in there where we all ended up singing, didn't we? And I'm singing at the top of my voice, forgetting I've got the GoPro on, and anyone that knows me knows that I can't sing. It's bad. So I kept that in. Unfortunately, it took me 2 hours to upload the video, and then because of the song, what's it called, Daydream Believer?
Daydream Believer and what made me smile as well is in this same section, Mike Doyle's fantastic. It's the first time we've ever seen him, but Carole's been
I've known on
conversing with him for a long time via Twitter, X, whatever they're calling it today. He's a great singer, he's a comedian, he's also an impersonator. Carole put 3 clips of him singing. One was singing It's Not Unusual by Tom Jones, and he's got a fabulous voice. He wasn't trying to take off Tom Jones, but he's got a great voice anyway. But then he did, I think it's called This Is My Life, which is a Shirley Bassey song, but he did it in the style of Shirley Bassey, and it was just absolutely incredible. No copyright issues at all with those two. And then the one that's got the copyright issue, which is Daydream Believer, with Carole singing over it, like you've never heard anything like it in your life. But fear not, it's not been doomed. It's not been thrown in the bin of never to be seen again. Because I said to Carole, I got a great idea. Just get that snippet for me where you're singing. And even though it's the wrong way for reels, it doesn't matter. We're going to put it out as a reel.
Well, we'll see.
And, no, we won't see. We're going to put it out as a reel. And it's an absolute treat for you.
We'll see. But yes, that's one thing about blogging, isn't it? When you edit stuff and you relive stuff and you remember all the little snippets. And sometimes when you have a few things that go wrong, they tend to really cloud your judgment. And then you tend to forget about all the joyous stuff and all the fun. So it's good to be home and actually to think about things now. We're not being so passionate and so heated.
But it's fair to say, with the company that we had, with Dan and Tony and Ken and Lindsay and Kathy, and the cruise boys and the 4Bs, and Rich and Ellen, we spent a lot of time with Dan and Tony and then Ken and Lindsay, but others on the sort of periphery.
It was great.
It was one of them cruises where it almost wouldn't have mattered if the ship had caught fire. We would have still had a good time because of the company we had. Because we did. It was fantastic. I think it's the most I've laughed on a cruise. I would say, because we just laughed and laughed and
we met so many fantastic people, and I just want to say thank you to everyone that came up to us, because there were so many. Every day we were chatting to people. So and we always say, if you ever spot us on a cruise, please come and say hi, because we love hearing. I love hearing people's journey and why they're on Queen Anne or their cruising history, and it's fascinating. So thanks to everyone that came up. We met some fantastic people, and hopefully see you again on the high seas one day. So Tom and Dom are in the house. Nice to see you guys. Hope you're having a good Monday. We've had a very lazy Monday, haven't we, with just uploading, and we got back into having an afternoon nap the last few days. I think it's catching up on all the sleep for the last week.
I've been busy. I've been out shopping and everything.
Yeah, Paulie did a bit of shopping. Yeah. Kevin B, yo's in the house. So nice to see Kevin B. We had a lovely Zoom chat yesterday with all our sweet tier patrons, and Kevin B was there as well. So that's
I'm assuming that Woodford Reserve had a pastry.
Yeah. So many people here. So hi to Catherine and Alison, so lovely, and Yvonne. And Gillian's just saying, hope everyone's Monday's been good. Yeah, Monday's day for us because we obviously don't have a sort of a 9 to 5 job, aren't well, you've never had a 9 to 5 job, really, have you? But for me now, I'm retired from nursing. Mondays is often like, what day is it? But anyway,
just trying to work out. So it'll be 15 years this year. So that takes me back to 45. So I had 30 years of 9 to 5 jobs. And there's Carole saying to me, like, I left the womb and then I led on the sofa with a remote control.
It's debatable. So Paul and Louise are here. So hi, guys. Enjoy your cruise from Wednesday. Look forward to our cruise on the Anthem of the Seas on the 26th. Enjoy. Anthem's a great ship.
Make sure you go and see We Will Rock You. It's awesome.
Yes. I presume it's still on there.
It is. I got told it's still on there, yeah.
So let's see. So Anne's in the house as well. And Keith. And Patrice from Charlotte. Oh, I wonder if you're neighbours with Sherry then. So Cheryl's here. So Cheryl's asking a question. Princess announced 2026 European cruises, including one to see a total lunar eclipse. The Majestic will sail over Southampton, British Isles, and Northern Europe. Thoughts? Well, my initial thoughts, Cheryl, when we seen this was like, what? Was getting my teeth was that it's Sky Princess and Majestic. Now, Sky Princess, we love that ship, and that's why we've chosen it for our group cruise. But I think this will be the 6th year, or the 5th or 6th year that it's been out of Southampton. So I was disappointed that they didn't mix that up. And then when I seen it was Majestic joining the Princess, I was a bit disappointed because it's the same class as ship as Sky. And I was hoping it would be an older Princess ship because I want to try the Crown Princess. What was the class? The Grand class. And there's even like the Island Princess, they're a little bit older. So we were a bit disappointed about that. But however, when you look at the itineraries that I've seen, there are some very interesting itineraries that you're putting out there. But we definitely want to get on an older class. We've done now Enchanted, we've done Regal, we've done Sky. So they're all the Royal class.
They're all virtually identical.
Yeah, which are beautiful ships.
Yeah, they're lovely.
And a great experience. But so we were a little bit disappointed that it wasn't mixed up a little bit more. Cruising Gays are here. So hi, guys. And Jill and Sandra and Donna and Scott. So let me see you guys. What question on the QA? What area surprised you most in a good way?
Well, when we did our live before we went on Queen Anne, my 2 biggest things I was looking forward to was the Queen's Room, which without a doubt disappointed because of what they've done with it, etc., but that's not all the questions like, and the pub. And what they've done with the pub is fabulous because they've made it we spoke to Stephen, what's the chap's name?
Payne.
Stephen Payne. We spoke to Stephen Payne in the pub.
On the VIP night.
On the VIP night.
Lovely guys. If you're watching, Stephen, hi.
And he designed Queen Mary 2. And by his own admission, the pub on Queen Mary 2 is rubbish because it's shaped like a T.
Yeah.
So you don't really get an atmosphere. And if you're at what would the word for the bottom of the T. If you're at the bottom of the T, you can't see the live music because it's round the corner. So, and it's sort of very thin, and and there is a dartboard right away in the corner. The Elizabeth and Victoria are better, but still not big enough, and a bit higgledy-piggledy. What they've done, which might be boring to some people, is they've made it almost perfectly square, and it's massive. And it just brings it into it makes it a proper entertainment venue in its own right. And there's plenty of seats in there. The pub food's great, even though you've got to pay for a few. But, that's neither. You don't have to pay for them if you're silly, because don't pay for them. Just have the ones that are free.
That's the one thing on the pub menu.
Yeah, but my biggest surprise for me, in a good way, was the pub. I thought it was fabulous.
For me, it was the use of outside space on deck 11. Now, right at the front by the Sky Bar, there's a beautiful sitting area that wraps all around the front. There is a smoking area there, which actually isn't segregated, so that will annoy quite a few people. But on the other side, you can sit without any smoke, and it's absolutely lovely. And the front of the Sky Bar with views over the roof of the pavilion is lovely. And at the back, they've got a place called the Cabana, which again wraps all around the funnel. doesn't it?
Yeah.
And you can go as far as where the Queen's Grills. You can't get through that gate. So it's a bit of a higgledy-piggledy. So if you want to go front to back, you've got to go down and back up again. But those two areas, I think, are fantastic for, obviously, when you're sailing in warm climates. The only downside to them was on our cruise, and I wonder that may change, because I'm sure after the Maiden, I'm sure the whole company have learned a lot, because some things worked really well and some things just didn't. And one thing that didn't work well on this cruise was the bars shut at 5:30. So you're sailing out of a beautiful city like Lisbon and the bars shut. So it'll be interesting to see how that progresses. But to me, it was the use of outside space. I think they've done a fabulous job.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so lots of lovely. So Darren's here. So hi, Darren, and Fraser's here. We're seeing Fraser on Wednesday. It'll be the first time we met Fraser at sea, so we're looking forward to that. In fact, on Wednesday, I've lost count of how many vloggers are going. It's a 3-night cruise on Aurora. I don't know if the other vloggers have announced they're going, so I won't say who we know is going, but it should be, well, I think it's just going to become a bit of a blur, because I think it'll just be 3 nights of partying and just catching up and chatting, but we're looking forward to that. Queen Anne, then. Well, just like the Queen Anne, but we've got 3 days and we're heading to Bruges, but looking at the weather forecast, I checked it yesterday, it looks very wet.
So anyway, I think we're far enough in now, so hot off the press Aurora news.
Yes, we had an email today.
Apparently, there's been some poopies going on.
Some poopies.
That's the technical term. And now all boarding, I hope Fraser's had his email about this, because this could be quite a surprise.
Sure, everyone has.
So basically, boarding, whatever your boarding time is, you've got to add an hour and a half onto it, because they're trying to do a clean-up operation, not of the poopy. I can't imagine it's just swimming.
There's been an outbreak of, it sounds like, sort of gastroenteritis that they're dealing with, and they're doing obviously a deep clean before everyone gets on. So, yeah. So we'll see. So
what's the lesson there? Wash your hands, you dirty monkeys.
Yeah. Do you know one thing about Queen Anne? We said about the buffet. One thing that a lot of people were moaning about, which we were happy about, was that they are actually serving you in the buffet. And I think that should happen on all ships, because you see people in the buffet, and people walk past the hand sanitizer or the sinks, and they go straight up, put the plates, rub them on their chest, put it back down. And so I think actually when we go on Aurora, if we go to the buffet, then obviously I'm sure that they'll be serving us, and we're happy with that, because we would just prefer that.
It's twofold happiness with that, because one, if you serve yourself, you have a plate. Now, here's a technical term for you that nobody outside the Forest of Dean will know. I'll be amazed. Now, if you've got a vessel that you want to get more things on that vessel, like a plate, there's an Old Forest expression, and it's called, you put dripples on the side of it, which is like a wall up your plate, so you can put more on. So when you serve yourself at a buffet, you have to have the dripples on the plate, so you can get as much on as humanly possible. If you've ever been on a Carnival cruise, you know what I'm talking about. They got I can't even do it. They got food up to the ceiling.
They just put it directly on their tray.
It's like the leaning tower of Pisa. Oh. But obviously, when somebody's serving you, you tend, I don't think it'll change on Carnival, because I think the sort of people that eat that much food, they eat it regardless. But at least you don't say, oh, I'll have 17 chicken legs, please. You just have a few, and then you have to go back up. Well, you should get a bit of exercise when you go back up. So.
Exactly. So Darren's just saying he's back from the Marbella, I'm sure you mean Morella, Voyager Electric 80-90 Water Buzz. We were gutted when they announced the Morella Voyager's electric sunsets, because we were obviously on Queen Anne, so we couldn't go. And we had such a fantastic time, didn't we, on Morella Discovery 2? Because they do it every 2 years, don't they, Morella? So
that's what we need, another booze.
No, we don't really. But hopefully in 2 years' time, then we'll be able to get back on, because it is a one-off event, I think, isn't it, the electric sunsets? So let's have a look. Tom and Dom just saying, as it's World Cocktail Day, what's your favourite cruise cocktail? Mine's no secret, is it? I do love a Bloody Mary, and they did some fantastic ones on Queen Anne, and they weren't too expensive. They're only $10, obviously included in the drinks package if you had that. But I didn't think that was too bad.
$10, but it's $11.50 because they put 15% on, so it's $11.50. But still, in the grand scheme of things, under a tenner, which on a cruise ship isn't bad. Mine would be, I do love a mudslide, but a mudslide is definitely a pool deck cocktail. And I did on, I don't know what went on, when we were on Queen Mary. What do we have gone with Deb and Steve? Which one was that?
Queen Elizabeth.
Queen Elizabeth. When we were on Queen Elizabeth, we had a lot of perfect serves, and I thought they were delish. And I had a couple on Anne, and I didn't think they were up to scratch. So I don't know whether there's a change of and Tony said as well about it.
Well, Tony had some in the chart room, which is a lovely venue, and he really enjoyed them. And we had them in the Commodore Club, and I had Queen Anne, and I just felt like I was having
just a
gin and tonic with a bit of sort of lime in.
But not
it was
for
very
gin
beautiful
and tonic,
with flowers on the side and stuff. So yeah. And they're huge money, aren't they?
Yeah.
For what they are. It's nice to try them.
They're actually outside of the drinks package.
Yes,
they're $14.
Yeah.
And because they're outside the drinks package, when you have basically, if you have the drinks package, the 15% service charge doesn't apply. So if you have a $13 drink, it's $13. But if you have a $13 drink and you haven't got the drinks package, that's what's that? 10%, $130. So that's $15. So you get another $2 on top.
Yeah. So let's have a look. So Commodore Steve's asking, are the celebrity performers in the bright light? No, all our celebrity performers like Russell Watson.
He's actually put are the celeb titty performer as well.
Yeah. We didn't see any of
that. No.
So we've seen the celebrities in the theatre, didn't we? Claire Balding.
The bright lights isn't big enough to have any celebrities in there unless they're a very sort of, the only way is Essex. I've never watched that, by the way.
No.
They might be really popular. I apologise in advance if they are, but no, it's nowhere near big enough. All the head honchos were all in the theatre. They were.
The Bright Lights was an excellent venue, though. Excellent venue. Claire saying, lovely to see you on a dull Monday. Yes, thank you, Claire. I've been admiring Claire's aces in her garden on our Discord because I can't grow aces and I'm very, very jealous. So Susan's here, so lovely to see Susan and travel with Lucy. So thanks for dropping by. And Tina's here, so lovely to see you, Tina. So let's have a look. Joe saying, evening all. Looking forward to hearing more about your Q&A adventure. Anyone thinking of commenting on anything negative at PNC, please don't. Oh, life is too short for your online grumpiness. Thank you, Joe. Yeah, there are people that just sit on their keyboards, don't they, and say horrible things. But we're fine. We're used to it. We're developing rhino skin. And we understand that we put ourselves out there. So we're going to attract some of that. Thankfully, we don't get too much of it. But I love how all our members and that are just so protective. So thank you so much. So Tony Rum said, evening all, book Queen Anne for the Azores and the solar eclipse in 2026. Fabulous. And I'm sure all the issues that we had, not that we had, but people had on the Maiden with the cold food and the service not being as slick as it should be will be resolved, I'm sure, by then.
Well, hopefully by 2026. Yeah. If they haven't sorted it by then, they should just sink the ship, to be honest, if they haven't sorted it out.
Exactly. Jill's just saying, hi guys, finally made it to a live, so thank you for joining us. Got a cruise coming up in July on Carnival Firenze, even though I'm not a big fan of Carnival, too many people. Do you know, we were saying when we were on board, we chatted about cruising a lot and what cruise we like to do. We'd love to get back on a Carnival ship. We had a great time on Carnival Celebration. Is that my flip-flops in the way?
Yeah. Shoes everywhere. God,
so yeah, because Carnival's a lot of fun, but it is a bit mad, it is a bit manic, and there are lots of people, but I'm sure you'll have a great time. Di's just asking a question, have you cruised on Ambassador yet, or do you intend to? We haven't yet.
I thought it was my turn then.
Go on then.
We haven't yet.
No, we haven't.
We haven't yet, and we're trying to get what we'd like to do. Is we've said this before, we like to do one out of Avonmouth because it's about half an hour down the road for us. Tilbury is the back of beyond, and it's a pain in the derriere to get to. But what we want to do is, even though what I'm going to say now is a stupid statement, you'll never really get a true taste of. I was having this conversation with Nick BBT actually. If you're doing a short cruise, like 3-4 day cruise, it's more than likely going to be a bit of a booze cruise. Because people are just getting on there. It's a short thing. You go to Hamburg, you go to Bruges, you go to somewhere. It's just a very there and back. So you don't really get the cruise experience that you will get doing a 7-day cruise or longer. But I still would want to do a short cruise on Ambassador just to get the feel for the ship, to see what the ship is like. Is it, is it dated? Is it this? Is it that? What's the entertainment like? Because you're still going to get a feel for that, but you're not going to get the true cruising experience because everybody's going to be on there to see how many pints of lager they can drink. So I would like to try it, but I want to do a short one that's out of
Bristol, ideally.
Out of Bristol.
Yeah, out of Bristol. So Mandy's just saying about Aurora. Yeah, have you had a notification of change to arrival? We have, yes. So hopefully you heard the conversation that we had about that. Yeah. So ours was originally, it was quite early, wasn't it? Ours was it quarter to one? So now we're
quarter past two.
I
think the cruise boys and
some had really late embarking, so now they're about 6:30.
They're getting on Thursday now.
Yeah. Well, and also Sailaway was supposed to be, I think, at 5:30. Yeah. So hopefully they'll obviously be delaying.
We might have some fireworks or something like we did on Queen. I mean, if I don't have fireworks now every time I say let Southampton, I want to know why. That
was pretty magical. I don't know. In our first episode that's coming out Friday, you'll see the fireworks display. In fact, actually, you've already uploaded, haven't you, to a short the fireworks. That was pretty special.
Someone who's in the chat, and his name's Fraser, said it was the best footage he'd seen of the fireworks.
Yes, he did, actually. He did. Yeah, and that was pretty special. It felt, even though there was no entertainment as such where we were stood, we're at the back, whereas one of our special memories of Sailaway was when we were on Sky Princess on Princess, and we were with a group of people, and it was such a party atmosphere. On the back, it was sort of a bit understated because there wasn't a lot of entertainment. In fact, there was music on. They were playing Chaz and Dave, weren't they? Which was a bit random.
Chaz and Dave Rabbit.
Yes.
They said it was their tribute to Carole, but I didn't know what they meant.
But when the fireworks, when we were leaving Southampton, when you were stood there watching the fireworks, you really felt you were part of a historic moment, didn't you?
Yeah.
It was pretty special. So,
but
I don't think Aurora will have the same send off on Wednesday. So Chris Vinny's asking Paulie, do you want Spurs to win tomorrow or not?
Now you don't know.
I do, because this is what I think. Maybe because it's coming to the end of the season, depending on if Spurs win or not, has an impact on who wins or not, or goes down. I don't know. Something like that?
Yeah, but it's more important than that.
What is it?
Well, the smelliest of smelly foes, Arsenal, is between them and Man City for who wins the league.
Okay, so you want Man City.
So Tottenham's playing Man City tomorrow. Now, Man City do incredible, considering they've won the league 700 times in the last 10 years. They do incredibly poorly against Tottenham. So if Tottenham beat Man City tomorrow, and then Arsenal win the rest of their games, they'll win the league. So it's a toughie. But obviously, if Liverpool beat Aston Villa tonight, Tottenham could still get fourth, which is Champions League football. But I mean, nobody wants Arsenal to win the league, do they? Surely.
I'm sure there are a few people that might do.
Oh, we do.
Anyway, Laura's saying hi. What a nice surprise. Yep, very rare we do any live on a Monday, but obviously we're off again tomorrow. So Fraser's asking, what are you most looking forward to on your next cruise? I think catching up with so many people. We've got Bob and Holly's over from the US, and we haven't seen them since January. And everyone else that's going on. We booked Aurora a few years ago for a Christmas cruise, and it got cancelled just after COVID. So we've wanted to try Aurora for a long time and because I know she's very much a loved ship within the P&O fleet. So we're really looking forward to just getting on there and find out why do people love it so much. I know we've only got 3 days,
and it's going to be bonkers. Like you said, it's going to go back to what I said about short cruises.
I think it'll just give us a feel of whether it's a ship that we want to go on again, and I'm pretty sure it will. We will want to go back on it again because I think as time goes on, there's more and more of these old small ships that are pretty special left around the world. So I think we will want to do that.
That are not on a beach in India being cut up.
Exactly.
I'm looking forward to not getting the poopers.
But we will be vigilant in washing our hands.
Of course we will.
As we always are. And I always carry alcohol gel as well. And
I always put alcohol gel over all my food as well. I just cut out the middle one.
Oh, I always squirt you, don't I, Paulie?
Yeah.
Ken said, right then, will you be keeping Bob and Holly up to 4:20 in a row like you did with us on Queen Anne?
It's 4:20 now.
Well, we did have some really late nights, Paulie. You keep saying it's 2:00, but it was after that.
It was gone three nights on the trot. We never went to 4. No way.
So I don't think Bob and Holly will do that, but you never know.
Bob will go to bed for 5 hours and come back about 3 for the last hour.
So Life in the Park. So good evening, Paul and Carole. So nice to see you guys. So Jill and Sandra are asking, question, would you have liked a venue such as the Rolling Stone Rock Room on Queen Anne?
Well, if you ask me, I would like a venue like the Rolling Stone Rock Room on every single cruise ship that's ever made, because it was immense. But I wouldn't, even though You'll tell me what the ship is like, because it's the same, very similar
It's the
layout
same.
to.
Well, if you imagine, if you've seen pictures now of Queen Anne, and you'll see the Queen's room, and you've been on a Pinnacle class, which is like the new Staterdam, Connings Dam that we did our Alaska cruise on. When you get your head around it, you couldn't get your head around it, could you? But I did.
When you told me,
well, that's for BB King's.
Yeah.
And then where the Bright Lights is Rolling Stone Rock Room, and the pub is like where the Julian pianos, the onboard billboard onboard is. So Paul loved the Rolling Stone Rock Room on Holland America, but I think Queen Anne has a far diverse entertainment program than Holland America has. I think Holland America is not, if someone loves big shows and lots of varied entertainment, Holland America don't have that. And everything's closed in. Everyone's gone to bed by 1 o'clock at the latest. Queen Anne was a different beast altogether. It's quite a party ship, and it's got a very diverse lots of entertainment, and you can get a late drinks in the casino bar and bright lights. You can sit in there till like we did, till like 3:30 in the morning.
Said 20 past 4. I don't believe it.
The bars close about 2:30, don't they?
2:30.
So yeah.
But on the last night, which wasn't because it was the last night, they had Amethyst Duo playing with the orchestra band in the Queen's room, and they were still going well after 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
Well, if you were on a Holland America ship, you'd have been tucked up in bed for an hour.
Yeah.
Because it'd have been, it's like quieter than the grave. And that's the only thing the things they fall down on is they haven't got a proper theatre.
Well, they have Holland America. They've just got a round stage, haven't they, with the LED?
Yeah, but it's rubbish.
Well, I don't.
It feels like when you go to the theatre that I don't think is a theatre. It's not even called a theatre, I believe, is it? It's called the World Stage. It feels like you're going to watch like a talk on how polyunsaturates affect your ear. I don't even know what any of that means, but that's what you feel like. You don't feel like you're going in there to be entertained. You feel like you're going in there to have a boring old chat with, about, Professor Pat Penn is going to tell you about this invention he's made. That's how I feel going into a Holland America theatre world stage type thing. Every other cruise ship you go in, even old duffer cruise ships or whatever, when you go into a theatre, you feel like you're in a theatre and you feel like you're ready to be entertained, unless you go and see Brief Encounter.
My thoughts are, I preferred the theatre on Holland America because I like that round stage and I loved all the LED screens behind. The theatre for me on Queen Anne, when you walked in, after comparing obviously with Queen Elizabeth and Queen Victoria that have the most beautiful theatres with the boxes, I walked in and I thought, oh, this is bland. It's very grey. It's based on, the lady did say, isn't it, the Royal Philharmonica? Philharmonica.
Yeah. It's Philharmonica.
Yeah. Oh, what's the hall called?
It's a Liverpool Philharmonic
hall. Apparently, it's based on that. Because I said, being short, I didn't have a great view all the time because the stalls are quite flat.
But what I'm trying to say is, when you walk into that world stage, you don't go in and go, "Wow, what a theatre!" You walk in there and go, "Oh, am I in the wrong place?" And then you're expecting some bloke to come out and with a whiteboard.
I think we'll agree to disagree.
Okay.
Yes. So Dan the Cruiser's here, so love to see Dan, and Mike's here as well, so love to see you, Mike. So Dan's been here and you've been busy booking again, so that's cool. For those of you who don't know, Dan's our travel agent and he's fab, and that's who we've just been cruising with on with his dad Tony on Queen Anne, and we've had a fab time. Donna's saying, we're having a cheeky chippy for their tea. What's on the menu for you all?
I'm not trying to hurry you up at all, but just so as you know, that comment was 30 minutes ago.
Okay. So let's have a look.
Look at this in me under the table. It was 30 minutes ago.
So now you've sailed on Queen Anne. How does she fare in comparison with the rest of the fleet?
She's in the top 4 of our favourite Cunard ships.
She's a beautiful, beautiful ship, and she's built for the future. And we thoroughly enjoyed our time, mostly on there, apart from the blips. But for us, for a Cunard ship, we do love the traditional ships, and we've already booked. We're planning a Patreon cruise in 2026, and our patrons and members have already chosen Queen Victoria, and we're glad they have, because we want to go, when we go with Cunard, I think we want to go with the older ships because we want a more traditional cruise. However, I think I would like to get back on Queen Anne in a year's time just to do a comparison, because it's a beautiful, beautiful ship. and it's got so much to offer. But for us, I think we do prefer the old traditional ones. So let's have a look then. Travel Johnny and Willie. Johnny and Willie here. So nice to see you guys.
She hasn't even been drinking.
Let's have a look. So many people here. So Alison was just asking, was the room you stayed in the Queen Anne quiet or noisy area of the ship? We were near the front, and it was over the theatre. So in the day, you did hear some rehearsals.
Yeah, but
other than that, it was absolutely fine.
So I knew to catch on that.
Nick, Paul looks really handsome. Is there a cruise line or a country that's on your bucket list?
Yeah, I knew Nick would let me down. Well, maybe it was Tracy. Country. We both want to go to New Zealand, definitely. Carole's some South Pacific-y stuff thrown in as well.
And Hawaii.
I don't know if there's... Carol's more cruise line orientated than me, because she'll say, oh, I'd like to do routine and ones like that. And, you know, obviously if there was like a Silver Seas dropped into our lap for about £35 a night, we'd be all over that. But I wouldn't be paying... There's no way I'd be paying £7,000 a head to go on Silver Seas or, you know, all these Ponant or whatever. It's just, couldn't justify it.
Hurtigruten fascinates me, and I would love to get on that ship and do some more expedition. I'd love to go back up to the Arctic Circle. I would like to. We've always said about Silver Sea, and we've not found a deal on it as yet, has we?
If we do, we'll be all over it.
So Claire's just asking, hopefully we've already answered that. How do you find shorter cruise compared to long ones? It gives you a feel of the ship, but it doesn't give you a true experience of what it's like to cruise on that ship for longer. So let's have a look. Let's see. Jilly saying that Mike Dawes fab is great voice. Yeah, we thought, and we also had a lady called Georgina Jackson who does she does what do they call it at the at the jazz club in London.
She's got a residency at Ronnie Scott's in London. She's a fantastic trumpet player. She's a great singer. She's very funny. She also plays the flugelhorn. Flugel.
Isn't that a great word?
She should be
flugel.
Now she should be a guest artist on Hurtigruten, because she could play the flugelhorn on the Hurtigruten.
So let's see. Joanne saying, we heard some bad reports about food arriving cold. Did they get on top of this in the end?
They did.
Mostly
got on top of it, but you say that they got on top of it in the end, did they? Because we've now got, you know, Gary Bembridge is now on Queen Anne, and he's already reporting back that there's still cold food coming out. So they sort of did. It was a shame because of all the bad reports. We only went to the main dining room once because we knew that if we went there, it would annoy me. And that would annoy Carole because I'd be annoyed and then I'd be grumpy Paul. And two, if you had a lot of entertainment in one evening where you were thinking, right, there's Queen's room for this, and then there's a so-and-so for that, and then there for that, and you're in the dining room for 3.5 hours to have some cold food, that's doubly sport your night. Yeah. So we only went once, and that was on the second gala night. If we'd have gone on the first gala night, I would have probably been fuming because each sitting was taking, on average, 3 to 3.5 hours. There was people coming out of the dining room at 11:30 at night, some of which still hadn't had their desserts. Ken and Lindsay are still waiting for some butter for their cheese and biscuits, and they got off the ship 4 days ago. Yeah,
with our experience in the MDR on this that's the 6th night, was actually superb.
Yeah, it was good.
We couldn't fault it. The food was excellent. It came out piping hot, and it was good. But there was a theme throughout, and there was cold food. Not just in the MDR, we had experiences in the specialty restaurants, so Samuel's, all the sides were cold and the steaks were cold. Yeah. So, yes. So, hopefully, the thing is with Queen Anne, you expect some quick teething problems, but there was a little bit more than just teething problems. Yeah. However, all these things that have happened are all sortable. It's not like the ship's been designed and it's got huge faults in it and things like that. No, I think all the things are to do with service. So I want to just reassure people, because we have a lot of people message us saying, like, I'm really worried. We've got a cruise booked on Queen Anne. Don't be worried. I said, because it's just, you know, things take time. You know, it's made us really think about, would we do a maiden cruise again? And my gut feeling is no, we wouldn't, even though we've done one before on Morella and it was fine. But I think, you know, maiden cruise is, one, are very expensive, and two, things don't always go to plan. So would we spend our money that way again? I don't think we would we?
No.
I know, I've just seen the next Natalie Green. Oh my God, you're home. Then I heard you're off again.
What, another one?
This is our niece Natalie, and Paul. She's always. It's a lady from Bristol. What was it from?
It was a lady from Bristol, and there was like a roving reporter walking around the streets getting people's opinions because there was going to be another general election or a new prime minister or something. And she said, "What, another one?"
Yes. Cruise and Gazer just say we found the best performing reels are the ones where you are just enjoying yourself, either as a couple or with family and friends. Do you know, probably the highest views we've got of a reel is when we couldn't get out the deck show, wasn't it, at the Barry Island?
Yeah.
So you're
And to
right.
be fair, once we put Carole's singing out, there's one or two things are going to be happening. We're going to be multi-millionaires.
Oh, I don't think I'd be so embarrassed, Paul. Yeah, I'm so rubbish.
We're going to be multi-millionaires from the proceeds of all the views we're going to have.
Yeah, right.
And obviously, Simon Cowell's going to be straight on the phone.
Exactly.
Straight through to Judge's house, she's going to be.
So Kevin B saying, Paul Sanson, what did I do with this empty bottle? Brilliant. So Bon Voyage is here saying, love your vlogs. Well, thank you very, very much. Danny, Wine Throne Danny's here. So lovely to see you here. You'll never record anything else, Danny.
Danny the Wine Thrower.
Yeah. So Bridget was saying, do we see any Northern Lights? We didn't even know it was happening in the week until I looked on my phone in the morning and seen all on social media that it was
What's that at the end? Is that like
a little emoji that's blue?
It looks like
I don't know.
It looks like, what was it called?
Pac-Man.
Yeah, Pac-Man, that was it.
So no, we didn't see any Bridget, but people are putting fantastic photos
just look
of
at
it.
people's pictures. We don't.
Yeah. Deborah's asking, have we been on P&O Aurora? No, we haven't. So we can't help you with that one. But there are a few people in the chat here that have been on quite a few P&Os.
Ken is the P&O
aficionado.
Ken goes cruising. He's in the chat. He's the man. If you want to know
check out their videos because they've got some fab ones. Warren's made the live, so obviously the ship looks beautiful. It is a beautiful ship.
It's a lovely ship. There's no doubt about it. And like you said, you've got to sort of. Carol's taught me that. She always says put it in a box, but I don't know what that means. Whatever.
But it's just put a lid on it and just move on.
Apart from the speciality meal we had in the steakhouse, which was an absolute
mess.
I'm trying to think of a word, but it was just the worst speciality meal. It's probably one of the worst meals we've ever had on a cruise ship, full stop. But we didn't encounter as much as a lot of people because we stayed away from it, and we shouldn't have to stay. We did the first gala night all in our finery in the buffet eating burritos because the choice I think they put all their eggs in one basket on gala night, and they thought, well, we don't need to put anything in the buffet. We just put a cheese sandwich in there, mate. That'll be all right, one between all of them. So we go and we thought we cannot. There was lots of good entertainment on that night, and we thought we cannot risk missing it because you don't, a lot of the times you don't get a second bite of the cherry. So we went to the buffet, and I have to say it was every night we walked through the buffet after that, it looked great. But the night we were there, there was like a salad and a burrito.
Well,
and
a little bit more.
And that was but it wasn't great. But we shouldn't have had to have gone to the buffet, but we made the conscious decision. And of course, when we spoke to Ken and Lindsay, who did go to the buffet, and then we saw them 4 days later, and Ken went to the main dining room. Ken had a beard down here where he'd been in there that long, and Kathy was the same, and she had a beard down there.
No, she didn't.
We avoided the stress of eating in the main dining room, but we shouldn't have had to because it did.
Yeah, because we wanted to go to the dining room, but we made that conscious decision. Yeah. So we didn't want to just go to the main dining room and say, yeah, the food's cold, the service was rubbish, because then our whole evening would have been spoiled. Yeah. In the end, we had a really good evening, didn't we? Seeing all the entertainment. Joe's asking, did you have any rough seas? Was the ship stable? We were on the Bay of Biscuits, as we call it, going. We did have some, it was a little bit rocky, wasn't it, for about 6 hours? But then it was absolutely fine.
We were in the spa.
Oh, yes.
Or the spa. I don't know how you say it. I always say it like the shop, so near, so spa. And in the Jurassic Park pool, like is thoracic, I don't know, I can't never say that word. In the Hydro Spa, in the pool, where you got it's all it's something to do with thoracic, whatever.
Thalassomy pool.
Yeah, we're going to go Jurassic Park. When we're in the Bay of Biscuits, it was that bad that we were in the pool and the water was slopping out the sides of the pools. But what made it even more amusing is obviously under the water line, you've got all the jets of water coming out. But when the water slopped from one side to the other, it meant those jets of water were completely exposed, and you get it right in the mush. And it's like you look around thinking somebody's thrown something at you.
We loved it though.
It was entertaining.
We were with Kathy and a guy called Paul. So if you're watching Paul, hi. And we had such a fun time.
So there's 5 of us in the pool. There's me, Carole, Kathy, and this guy Paul, who I met earlier, who follows our channel. And there was another bloke in there, and he had a face like a smacked bottom, I'm going to say.
Yes.
And we're laughing, and it was just like he was just the most miserable man ever. And I'm thinking, like, if that don't make you smile, mate, well, but they showed some people round. Say, oh yeah, this is the spa, isn't it lovely? And as these people walk round the outside of the pool, of the Jurassic Park pool, they nearly got like a tidal wave over them. And we were all like roaring with laughter. This bloke still sat there.
Yeah. Anyway, let's get through the questions because there's loads of questions here. So let's just sorry if I'm whizzing past things.
You're nearly 7:15 now, mate. You do well.
Yeah. So are all short cruises like mad parties, or 2-day cruises more mad than 4-day cruises?
Yes.
Generally, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
2 days are mad, 4 days.
Weekends,
yeah, not quite as mad.
It's
but
cheap.
you can get like Cunard do. It's called a back-to-back, but they do Southampton to Hamburg, and then Hamburg back to Southampton. You can do that as 2 separate cruises. And obviously, if you go to Hamburg and you wanted to stay there, you could, have a couple of nights there, then fly home, and you can get cheap flights. You can get those for absolutely cheap as chips, like £100 or something for an inside cabin. So, yes, they do. People do go on there and they do cut loose and go a bit bonkers. And I can't deny it. The only one, and we were having this conversation on our Zoom. We did Anthem of the Seas for a 4-day when Carole retired, and because it was Royal Caribbean, as a rule, are quite expensive, and their drinks packages are quite expensive, you're less likely to encounter the drunken bums because of how much it costs. It's not a cheap enough 4-dayer to warrant going on there to get on the latch.
And we've not seen that behaviour on Cunard.
No, we haven't seen. No, we haven't.
But Queen Mary 2 is a great one to do it on because it's got a fabulous nightclub.
Yes,
hasn't it? G42.
G32.
G32.
She's upgraded it.
She's agree about the buffet.
Did you put the 10% service charge on?
Oh, you would not believe some of the things I saw happen on Arcadia last week. It was really disgusting. Yeah, people walk around, don't they? I just don't get why people are so disgusting. So lots of discussions
and they'll be the first to complain if they get a poorly tummy.
Ken saying, we had a delayed embarkation on Ventura. Buffet food was served to you for 3 days. After that, serve yourself and no poo issues on board.
And that's why I hope it's still like that when we're on.
Yeah, Elaine saying as well. So obviously, Elaine, I agree much more hygiene. We absolutely agree. Cruise and Gay saying on Sun, it was all served in the eatery. So I wish every cruise line would do it. I really do. So let's have a look.
But of course, it does mean that, and I've said this as well, if they've got to serve everybody, they need more staff. Whereas if you can just lump a load of food on your plate, you only need one bloke.
We didn't have to wait too long.
No, not at all. I thought one of the things I have to say, the food in the buffet, we used the buffet more than we did all 4 specialty restaurants. So that's 4 nights we didn't eat in the buffet. We did
one MTR.
So we had 2 nights in the buffet. But we did lunches in the buffet and we did a lot of breakfast in the buffet. We never went anywhere near the dining room for breakfast or lunch. And it was never tedious, was it?
No, not at all.
Even if there was 10 or 12 people in front of you in the queue for like your cooked breakfast items, they had 2 blokes there and they were rattling through it. And what really surprised me is they were cooking a lot of items fresh at the station.
Yeah.
So they were serving you here, and behind them, they had like fried eggs going on, they had bacon going on, they had hash browns going on. So it couldn't have been any fresher. They was literally.
And I was very happy because they had Marmite.
And
they have HP sauce.
And Avo on toast.
Yes. So Joe's asking, did you end up saving money overall by not having the drinks package? We did. Guess how much?
We saved in excess of $4.50 per day between us. So we're just over $2 a day.
Yeah, so we were on the
believe us, when you're drinking with Ken and Lindsay, you're not skimping. I don't care what he says. If he's saying it's me, it's not me. I think it's Lindsay. Actually, she's the bad apple. To be fair,
I think you're gonna get a few slaps when we see them.
Well,
next.
that's all right. I won't see him for a while.
Louise asks, is the afternoon tea in the Queen's room just as nice on the other Queen ships? Yes,
I thought it was.
We had a lovely time. We went to on the program. They have afternoon tea and they have afternoon tea dances, and we went to one of the afternoon tea dances where everyone was obviously dancing in the Queen's room, and it was lovely. The food was delicious. Sandwiches were really good. The cakes, Paul loved the cakes, fabulous. And the scones were really delicious.
And the tea, and I know it sounds like a bad thing to say, the tea was of a consistently good level, and I must have had about 7 cups. And I tried all the cakes apart from one because we had specialty restaurant in the evening.
Yeah.
I know we didn't. We had gala night in the evening, but yeah, so it was excellent. And having the tea, we've never done, on all the other Queens, we've never done a tea dance. We've only ever done afternoon tea. So for me, it being a tea dance was a bonus. Yeah. Because we love watching people dance. I think, we'd love to be able to do it ourselves, but filling your face with a load of sandwiches with the crust cut off, because obviously we're posh.
Cucumber sandwiches,
scone, jam then cream.
Or if you're Dan,
jam then cream, or just Dan, just
cream then jam then cream, then jam then cream. Kevin Beach, toilet cocktails, vodka orange in the morning. Yes, that's a bit breakfast-like, isn't it? Pina colada in the poolside and Manhattan before dinner. Right. Perfect.
He's a classy bloke.
He is. And Dave saying, give me a margarita anytime, but I do love a Manhattan or an old-fashioned in the evening.
What was the ones we were talking about on the Zoom that had bourbon in it? You'll have to remind me, Dave or Kevin.
Yeah. I can't remember. Susan's asking about porn star martini. I didn't see any, actually.
No.
So Paul's in the process. We're hoping to get it done this evening.
By tomorrow. I didn't say by this evening. I said before we go off to Southampton tomorrow, I've already done all the beers and ales and ciders. I've upgraded all the prices on them. Virtually everything's gone up. The odd 1 or 2 things have come down, but the majority of stuff has gone up. So, but then I'm going to be on to the wines and spirits and cocktails, which is obviously going to take me.
Sherry said that she heard there was queues. There were queues, but that's like on any of the Cunard ships. If you don't get early to afternoon tea, there's always queues. So that was nothing new.
It amazes me that 3 o'clock afternoon tea on Cunard is legendary. So if you go rocking up at 5 to 3 expecting to sit down, then it's never going to happen. So you need to be getting there 2:15-ish to get a seat where you really want it. 2:30 you'll get on the periphery. But if you have to be committed to the cause. If you want to feed your face with lovely cakes, you have to get there early.
One couple that we met and who were lovely, they got there at 11:30 because they didn't want to miss out. Donna's here. So obviously Donna was a good-looking rooster. After Queen Anne, will the other queens include QM2 Transatlantic, no feel dated and passé? No, I think they just feel like Cunard for us.
I don't remember anything about saying I was a good-looking rooster.
Well,
is that like is that autocorrect, or do you think I look?
And the gaming horse said, have you thought about doing a transatlantic? We've thought about it and we've done it.
We did it.
So last August.
We did it last year.
So go and check out our vlogs because we spent a week in New York. So if you want to know what to do in New York, check out, we've got 2 videos about that. Yeah. And we've got a vlog series about Transatlantic on Queen Mary 2.
But
so just go to our...
be very, very careful about speaking to strangers in New York.
Mandy and Chris are here. We met Mandy and Chris just as we were coming home. Before we drove home, they were just getting on Queen Anne after we got off. And they've been keeping us informed because they're our YouTube members and they're having a good time on board. So they're live on the Golden Line aboard the beautiful Queen Anne. Sorry, can't stop to watch. We're getting funny looks. Busy drinking Thatcher's Golden cocktail.
Well, when if you get Gianna or Charlie...
or Beth.
When you speak to them, they always do the quiz, and they just tell them that Paul and Carole says hello.
Yes. Tina's just saying 275 watching with us, 355 watching now, and 75 likes. So, do give us a thumbs up.
Give us a thumbs up. Where's the fireworks? It don't work anymore. It's never worked since then, has it? Don't do the heart. Woo.
Yeah.
Woo.
No. People think you're gone and lost the plot, Paulie. Sometimes this reacts and fireworks go off, but not today. As you're not flying, do you still pack each other's clothes in your cases? Do your cases ever go missing at Southampton. We still pack the same way.
I'm sorry to interrupt you then, but you said that like you were a hobbit. Do you still pack each other's clothes?
We're maybe only taking one case tomorrow. We haven't packed yet, have we? But we're only away for 4 days.
One of our first ever P&O experiences, which was on when we went with Dad and Dean.
Yes.
What ship was that?
Ventura.
They lost my brother's suitcase. We were only on there for 2 days. They lost it for a day.
Yeah.
So yes,
but that was going back about 15 years ago.
We still pack each other's clothes.
Yeah, we do. But we've never had it happen to us.
No, we've never had it happen to us. No.
Second time I said, can I take a bottle of whiskey on QM2? No, you can't. You can take 2 bottles of, one bottle of wine per person or 1 bottle of bubbles. So
no spirits. Sorry.
Gilly's asking, did they do anything special for QA when you arrived and left La Coruna and Lisbon?
They did.
We had
they did the pilot boats with the fountain.
The tugboats.
They did the tugboats with the fountains.
Yeah, the water cannons.
Yeah, but
that was in La Coruna, but not in Lisbon.
No, nothing in Lisbon. They just said, "Get your coat and get out."
The fireworks looked fantastic. They were. They were. Gilly saying Aurora's a little cozy. Yep, we're looking forward to going on a little ship, aren't we? So let's have a look of what people are asking about afternoon tea. Let's just see.
But let's just see. Don't forget to get them thumbs up, mine, because I said it was 350.
Natalie agrees. Right then, how come you can make it till 4 a.m. on a cruise and we can barely get past 9 p.m. when we're camping? Oh, that's true. That's true, man.
It is true. I think
we need some live entertainment.
As much as we appreciate sitting in your caravan awning, I think sitting in the Queen's room with a cocktail has got a slightly nicer ambience that you can maybe stick it out a bit longer. Sitting on a jet. We love the company. But sitting on a deck chair in your caravan awning with the wind whistling through it isn't quite so nice, is it really? But
Sail with Gail and Mike here. So lovely to see you guys. Good evening, Paul and Carole. Everyone. Question: did the TV in the cabin swivel? No, in the inside cabin. The ones that are just the regular size. So you walk in and it's the bed straight in front of you, and the bathrooms to the left. No, they didn't, and that is a big problem. I don't know why they've done that. But the other cabin that we went in, which we call the landscape cabin, if I was going to pick an inside cabin on Queen Anne, I would definitely pick the landscape cabin. And I'm sure if you see our videos, but Ken and Lindsay stayed in it for a week. So go and check their video out too, because they've just put it out about how they felt after living in it a week, because we only obviously had a look around. So there's a difference between a video like our video where we stayed in it for 6 days than there is just having a quick look around. So Tina said they just got to Arcadia. Love the ship, but we had terrible trouble with sewage smells in some areas. Oh, wow. Going in for a refit. I wonder when that is, because we've not done Arcadia either, have we? No. So
apparently there's quite a smell of poo on Aurora at the minute. No.
Bridget says, so did I understand that you only save £2 a day by not buying the drinks back? Yeah, basically. Yeah. So we knew that we've cruised with Cunard. This was our 8th Cunard cruise. So we know that we don't tend to buy the drinks package because we've always been under. We drank more on this cruise because we were with people.
Ken and Lindsay. Ken and Lindsay, yes.
And when you cruise on your own, we were well under it by about $600, weren't we, when we did Queen Elizabeth for the 10-day cruise. Yeah. So it just depends. Let's have a look.
And obviously, when you had a hot meal for 5 days, you have to drink to make up for it as well.
On the counter, FM's asking, we have a cruise booked in June with TUI again. What's your favourite feature on the Marella Discovery? Atrium.
I love
the atrium.
I love the atrium, and it goes back to as well the dancing. Because when we were on the Discovery, they had a professional dance couple on, which they have on a lot of cruise ships, and they do dance lessons. But what they did in the evenings, which I hope they still do it, because it'd be such a shame if they don't, is usually about 6 o'clock-ish, or 5:30, 6 o'clock, just before dinner, they would have an hour, and they'd have a guy playing the piano, or sometimes it'd be piped music, canned music, and the 2 professional dancers would dance or get people up to dance with them, and plus other people would also. It's the closest I've come to a Cunard feel because of people getting up and doing boring dancing, which I thought was lovely. And plus it's just a lovely area to sit in.
So Lisa's here. So nice to see you, Lisa. We're looking for a small ship to the cruise Greek Isles. Look at a few different lines. Silver Seas is one of them. Yeah, they're just quite very expensive. But if you can get a deal, then that's awesome. Caroline's just saying, considering a Northern Lights Arctic cruise on Fred Olsen, November 25, very concerned about rough weather as not a good sailor. If you're going up to the Arctic Circle and you're going up the North Sea, you are going to get some rough weather.
Yeah.
And if you're going in November particularly, then you've got to expect it.
Yeah.
So I would be, and Fred Olsen's aren't huge ships. So yes. So I don't think if you want to do that itinerary that time of year, I don't think any ship that you went on, you wouldn't get away with not having some rough weather. So let's have a look. So Andy's views. Hi guys. We met them in New York, didn't we?
We did.
So it was, and I knew you were coming over. Good day from Bristol. You're visiting your mum, aren't you? That's right. Love Sky Princess to Norway. Off to China on Thursday, on way home to Brisbane. So have a fantastic time.
Have a great trip.
And it was just so fabulous catching up with you both in New York. So thanks for popping in. Sherry said she can't wait to hear Carole singing. Oh, see what we shouldn't have said anything, should we?
Oh mate, I'm building it up.
You don't want Sherry, honestly.
I am building it up. Honestly, it is spectacular.
If you want to hear good singers, Ken and Lindsay, make sure you check their vlogs when they come out because they're in the choir, and it was excellent, wasn't it?
Carole's in the choir as well.
No, I'm not.
The Cats choir.
Let's have a look. Doug is asking, "Hi, is QA a hot outdoor or cold indoor ship? PS, like the tip, really large balcony, has daughter join as third person in the room."
Well, I'll tell you what, and scarily, I know exactly what he means. I do have to say that Queen Anne consistently seemed to be as hot as hell inside. It was so warm,
it was really warm
all the time. Especially when you got your finery on. We were there, and it was just, I had my jacket on for about 38 seconds before I had to take it off. It seemed to be very, very warm.
But I think he's... the way I'm interpreting this question is, do you think it's for hot weather or cold weather? So from a destination point of view, I think it would suit both because you've got that lovely pavilion area where you've got the indoor pool that's covered and it opens up. I think this ship would be spectacular in the sunshine because of all the outside outside
So
space.
just disregard everything I said.
No. So Linda's talking about Silver Sea. Well, we just come off Silver Endeavour and think it is totally worth the cost for the exceptional service, food, excursions, and alcohol, which is all included. So, yeah, I think when you're looking at cruises, we always look at the base price, don't we? And then you don't think about it, like, oh, my gosh, you can cruise for £49 a day. But when you actually work out, once you've paid your tips, your transfers, speciality dining, all that on top, then it can work out the same.
That's why I think when we did the one Saga cruise we did, I thought it was good value once you factored everything in.
Aurora. So Steve and Nicholas saying Aurora is a great ship, lots of good bars and restaurants. The Glass House and Cindy were excellent. The buffet is very small, however. So good to know. So thank you very much. So let's see. So Ken saying the choice in the buffet was not good on the night we did our live. No, it was a really big sort of buffet, but there wasn't a huge choice when we were on there.
There seemed to be a lot of stuff for people.
Yeah.
It's like watching a Scooby-Doo cartoon when they're running down the road and it's just the house, lamppost. It's the same things repeated.
Yeah, and what we didn't like about the buffet was the food wasn't always labelled, and you had a small A4 piece of paper giving the menu, which was great, but it was very small and you couldn't read it.
I do have to have binoculars to read. I'm there with my glasses like Mr. Magoo, and I just sat there. So I'll have some of that, please. Oh, you mean the lasagna? Is that what it is? I don't know.
Jolly Jules is saying, who was the entertainment director? It was a guy called Nick. I've forgotten his surname, but he was very good, wasn't he?
He was good, yeah.
Yeah, very good.
And he interviewed
Claire Balding.
Very
well.
Was very good.
Yeah.
So yes, he wasn't one of these. You get some, and they're like a sing and dance man as well. Come out, sing your song, tell you a joke, do this, do that. He was very sort of to the point, but he had a nice way about him, and I thought it was good. Yeah. But it's like Amanda as well, though, isn't it? And she comes out and she, tells it how it is and doesn't really do much over and above that, but she does it and she does it well.
Well, I'm sure they do lots behind the scenes. They're not.
I know.
I think in Cunard, they're not that sort of cruise director that's bounding around the ship like you get on Carnival and all that. They're very understated, but doing a fantastic job. Manny said, "Oh my God, we always take Marmite with us and English mustard." Well, no, they've got them
not anymore.
This time I'm taking lemon and lime marmalade.
They had. They definitely had marmalade. I've seen marmalade. They do. I'm not saying lemon and lime. But when
they
you go
do
to the
little-
breakfast,
yeah,
they do the little
jars.
jars, and they got tons of different flavors.
So let's see. So Kevin's saying mint julep.
Mint julep.
Is that a cocktail?
Yeah, that's the one with bourbon in. I asked him what it was, and he's answered it. Yeah.
And Dave Hollis said, that reminds me, I need to plant some mint. Exciting stuff's happening on our kitchen windowsill because my friend Jilly's.
It's like, go and get her.
Yes. This is a bit off random because I love gardening.
You won't get this on any other channels, will you?
But look, I love mint, and my mint's died down. I've got a kitchen sink in the garden, an old-fashioned porcelain kitchen sink where I had all my mint, and it also died down. So I bought a new mint plant, but also my friend Jilly gave me, said just put them in some water and look, they've all rooted. So the mint. So I've got all my free. So if you want to grow some mint, just get some from a friend, pop it in a glass, and you can grow your own.
It's called a Belfast sink.
It's a Belfast sink, yeah. So let's say Linda's saying we're going on Cunard in August. You've made my husband's day by saying they have HP sauce. They do. Now, Rich is asking a question. The grills on QE and QV have their own kitchens. I've heard that this is not the case on QA. Do you know if that's true? We've been told that the grills have got their own kitchens because we had a conversation about it, but I don't know that's 100% because it was just passengers talking, so I don't know if that's fact. The person to follow at the moment is Gary Bembridge on social media, Tips for Travellers, because he's in the Queen's Grill at the moment on Queen Anne, and he's lovely, and he'll answer your questions for you. So let's see, we're gone over the hour, so let's have a see if there's any more questions. Nick's asking, have we been to Santorini and done your own thing? We have.
Carole had a very unfortunate flip-flop incident in Santorini.
I did.
Where she broke her flip-flop right at the top of, in the town of Santorini.
Yeah.
Which meant she had to then come down in the cable cars, and she's afraid of heights, obviously. So that was the first obstacle. And then when we got down to the bottom, she then had the obstacle of all the donkey poo.
Yeah.
With no shoe on. And it was about 100 degrees. So if there wasn't any shade, the ground was red hot. So she was scuttling around like a little lizard, like feet like this. We got on the tender ship. When we got back to the ship, because it was one of the old Thompson ships, wasn't it? It was either the Dream or the Celebration. And they had metal steps going back up to the ship, which... When Carole, you had to go and sit in the shower, didn't you?
We had a room on Dream that had a bath. Oh. So my feet were burnt.
So fond memories. Fond memories.
But you can, Nick. It's easy.
But it is easy.
You can get the cable car up, or you can walk up. Yeah. It's a long way in the heat. Yeah. So let's see if we've got any more. Sandra's here. Hey, Sandra. Have you finished your jumper? Yeah. We talked on Zoom. Sandra was in Australia, and she's knitting a lovely jumper. So nice to see you here. Let's have a look if there's anything else here. Cruise Life, any tips for Vancouver? We're staying for 2 days in September before sailing south to San Francisco and LA. Stanley Park's really nice to visit, isn't it?
Stanley Park's really nice, and there's a couple of nice restauranty places by the steam clock.
Yes.
But I don't want to badmouth Vancouver, but there is some very, very dodgy areas that you need to avoid.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of drug use in Vancouver, which was quite shocking.
So just
which we've never seen so openly done. Yeah, we know it happens everywhere.
So have your wits about you.
But if you go find the steam clock, I can't remember what that place is called, but we found some really nice restaurants there. Right then, so let's have a look. Claire saying, looking forward to seeing Carole singing. You might be able to go on Regent Seven Seas if it goes viral. You never know. You never know.
Yeah. So, and they might ask her to sing on there.
And let's just see. Visiting Mother Bank Holiday at the end of the month. Do you have any spare mint? We might do by then. We might do. So I think, and Michelle's just asking, only 109 days until my first cruise with my teenage boys on Iona to Norway. Really contemplating buying the Wi-Fi. Does anyone know if it's any good? Is it Starlink they use? On Iona, our experience wasn't brilliant, but then we haven't been on it since last year. So, but I think the whole fleet is doing Starlink, so it should be. And we found on Cunard it was very, very good. So, Mandy's off to pack now. Hopefully, bump into both of you on Aurora. We'll go now because we've been chatting for over an hour and it's been lovely. Thank you all for turning up on a Monday evening. So it was a good turnout. Make sure you give us a thumbs up. We will be live next week, back to our regular Thursday night slot. But follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and we'll be sharing our Aurora experience on there. And make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel because our Queen Victoria, our Queen Anne vlogs start this Friday.
And
yes.
So get on that because it's going to be a good one.
Yes, it is. So thanks ever so much, and we will see you soon.